They warned you, stay away. We whisper, come and play. Now you're here, then why not stay at the Darkmoon Fair?
Hey everyone, it's Apex, and today I wanted to focus on the Darkmoon card greatness, and specifically the strength version of the trinket, since there are 4 available. That one is very good for the plate classes in particular, and I kind of want to show you some of the alternatives as well as why it's good, is it worth it, and give you some information on all of that. Alright, so since the topic of this video is the Darkmoon card, let's first look at 2 very easy to get alternatives that are pretty similar. That'll be the Anvil of Titans and then the Mirror's Truth. The Anvil is just from Winter's Grasp marks, very easy to get. And the other one is just from 40 Emblems of Heroism, also pretty easy to get. Just run some dungeons, maybe do some questing, or maybe you got them from leveling up. And on paper, these both look extremely strong and pretty comparable to Darkmoon card greatness. But what's very interesting about them, they don't stack very well with each other. They both give the same buff, which is called Reflection of Torment, which gives you the 1000 attack power, but they can't be up at the same time. The one thing though about these, you could run them together in that they don't share an ICD. So you could get the 1000 attack power, and then right after the 10 seconds end you get another one. That's pretty good. You basically are getting 1000 attack power for 20 seconds. Of course, you don't have very good control over that. And also with both of these trinkets, they both have an ICD of 50 seconds, which is 5 seconds longer than Darkmoon card greatness. And then it only has a 10% proc chance. So you have much less control over this as compared to Darkmoon card greatness, which actually has a 35% proc chance and then a 5-second shorter ICD. Nonetheless though, these trinkets are pretty good, and especially for how easy they are to get, getting at least 1 or even 2, if you want to save money on Darkmoon card greatness, it is a great option for humans. Now, the Darkmoon card greatness, what makes this one so strong? If you just read it on paper, it's basically 680 attack power when you do the conversion. However, let's take something like a DK or a Pally. Pallies have Divine Strength, a 15% strength talent, as well as they typically have Kings, so another 10% strength. So all of a sudden that 680 is like 850 attack power-ish, and then the DK actually gets even more. They have Blessing of Kings, because let's say we play with a Pally, and they have the Rune of the Fallen Crusader, so another 15% when that procs, and they usually use that rune. And then they also have the talent for a passive 4% called Endless Winter in Frost, which they pretty much always get. So they get almost 30% more strength, and of course it's not permanent versus the Pallies. That 25% is basically permanent. Nonetheless though, that's a lot of attack power to get, and you could also get some other things that would increase that just from consumes or whatever else. But just for arenas and whatnot, that is quite a bit of attack power. And in particular, what makes humans so broken is when you can have 2 of these trinkets stacking up. So with the Darkmoon card greatness, that one will proc pretty often right when you start fighting, versus the Anvil and the Mirror's Truth won't. So you can get your burst going very quickly and not get unlucky where you just really need to get pressure rolling early or whatever. You have more control in that you know it's going to proc, versus the Anvil and the Mirror's Truth is a little more RNG. Sometimes you might not get it for 10 seconds, 15 seconds, that's possible. So you have Darkmoon card greatness up with all those modifiers, plus let's say an Anvil or the Mirror's Truth. All of a sudden, you're basically doubling your attack power when these procs go off together, which is insane. And that's just this scenario. So basically you could spend some gold and then buy one of these trinkets pretty easily, and you're already running really strong trinkets. So let's go into Darkmoon card greatness a little more and talk about how good it is and for how long. Because when you're thinking about how much you're going to spend, the first few days of the expansion, it was like 34k on my server, and I'm on Gribulus Alliance. And then a day later I checked Horde and it was 22k. And then a few days later, it's now like 17k. That's a little over a weekend. So it's dropped a lot. And actually, I think I saw 16.5k earlier. It's dropped quite a bit already. There's only a few days left of Darkmoon Fair, so that might be part of the reason. Demand is going down because a lot of people have already cashed it in, or maybe they're just getting these other trinkets and they don't even care about it. Another alternative that's pretty comparable is the Bandit's Insignia. Now this is a bit harder to get in that it drops off of Saffron, the second last boss, in 25-man next Rammus. This one is similar to Darkmoon card greatness in that it has a passive attack power basically, and then it also has the same ICD of 45 seconds. However, the proc chance is a bit lower at 15%, but nonetheless, this one's very strong for different reasons in that it will go right through armor, in that it does magic damage. And it's also arcane, so in PvP, there's not a ton of arcane resistance outside of like a mage with mage armor and then a few other random things, but there's not, you know, an arcane resistance aura for paladins or something like that. So this is a very good trinket, and ideally you'd probably want to run this and Darkmoon card greatness. This one's the hardest to get though. You can't just buy out the auction house. You can't get it very quickly like the Mirror's Truth or the Anvil of Titans. Another alternative is the Grim Tool. This is really just for warriors, so it's not very good for DKs or paladins for PvP and PvE. Probably a little better in PvE than it is for PvP for them, but nonetheless, not the strongest option. And for warriors though, you get a lot of hit. It's like 2.5% hit, so you don't have to get much hit on the rest of your gear for PvP. And PvE is just amazing all the way through, but you could have this and Darkmoon Card Greatness, and all of a sudden you're getting a huge attack power modifier with a huge armor pin modifier. Just amazing for both PvE and PvP. But really, it's just for warriors, since we're talking about plate. How long is this trinket good for? So for phase 1, it's BIS for all plate for PvE and PvP. So that's already pretty good if you're thinking about dropping the 17k or whatever it is on your server. However, going to phase 2 for PvP, it's still BIS for all 3 basically. Especially if you're human, because you can pair it up with many good PvE options. And then for PvE, I don't know exactly how BIS it is for those 3 in phase 2. However, it still would be very good, and I doubt there'd be a ton of competition, and you still have to fight for some of these very rare PvE trinkets anyway. And then by the time phase 3 rolls around, which in the original Wrath, that's when this finally got replaced, there's the Death's Verdict and the Death's Choice. And what people do specifically on humans, they would rock the normal and the heroic. So a 245 and a 258. Amazing trinkets off the 4th boss. It was super chase, and you'd be a monster if you had this stuff. But this time around, since they're going to be unique, you could stack either the normal or the heroic with the eye level 200 greatness, and that'll basically be best for all 3 if you're human for phase 3. So you can buy this trinket in the first phase. It's going to be BIS all the way till ICC if you're human. That's amazing. And not to mention, even if you're not human, I know I'm talking about humans a lot here, but let's say you're playing something else and you have Darkmoon Card Greatness and you want to replace it with one of these other items like the Death's Verdict or Death's Choice. It's still difficult. A lot of people want that, and it's not like it drops every run, and it'll take a while to get it and replace your Darkmoon Card Greatness. It's not like it's a huge upgrade. It's, you know, 15-20% better or whatever it was. I don't remember the exact numbers. So you can get this in the first phase and last all the way till basically the final phase, and that's pretty amazing. I say that is pretty much worth it right there. But I get it if you don't want to spend that much gold on it. I don't want to spend that much gold on it. I might be playing all 3 plate classes that will need it. So I'm looking at like over 50k gold. I mean, that's buying Epic Flight with no discount 10 times. That's a lot of gold. It's not like I'm out there farming gold all day and I just want to farm gold forever. So I get why people don't want to get it. I don't want to get it either, but I think I probably will. Let me know in the comment section below if you have already bought it or you're thinking of buying it. And also, let's talk about the price, because this is the first week Darkmoon Faire is out, and you know, Wrath's only been here for a few days. So is the price going to be going up or down by the next one? Well, some people might not even know about it, or they're thinking this exact thought and they're going to wait till this next one to buy it, and that might actually keep the price the same or nearly the same, or even go up possibly. We don't know. I think though so many people were making this card and trying to get everything and knew about it ahead of time, that likely that won't be the case, and it will be going down because a lot of people want to get the good items earlier and enjoy them for longer. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.